What is going on, everyone? We're live for a little late night session. Let's see here. Let me just move that a little bit there. There we go. We're going to take a look at my lineups, get them set, and get into it. We've already got some injuries that we're looking into already week one, as well as we've got Mark Andrews. What are we doing? We freaking out? I know I'm a big believer in Mark Andrews. Uh, Bought in big on him this year. And now, week one, bam, didn't look so hot. But we'll get into that as we're going through these lineups. But I've got three different platforms that I'm working with here. I've got like 5 leagues on Yahoo, 1 league on Sleeper, and 2 leagues on CBS. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. We're going to go ahead and start with Yahoo. So we're going to pull up my Yahoo leagues. I've got a league that I'm in with a bunch of friends, a league that I'm in with the for the podcast, as well as I did a few bits. Uh, Legatron, that team is I drafted a kicker and defense first. I need a hero. And I did the hero RB strategy, and the zeros is a zero RB strategy. So let's get into it. We're going to take a look at the fear boners here. I'm already losing 40. Let's go ahead and take a look right now. I'm losing 40 to 15. I am projected to win. He had Jalen Hurts go for 25 points. Jake Elliott 11, and the Baltimore defense with 4. I had Devonta Smith get me 15.4 points. So we're off to a good start, a little bit over the projected right out of the gates. Let's take a look at the rest of the lineup and make sure that we're good to go. I've got Justin Herbert at QB, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk. I feel good about those. Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously. Jonathan Taylor, Kyle Pitts. Man, I went hard on Kyle Pitts this year, guys. I have him in a lot of my leagues, as well as you'll see one of the leagues that we take a look at. I kind of went Falcons heavy without even really paying attention, and got a lot of Falcons in there. So, but I do believe Kyle Pitts is going to have himself a good year this year. Hopefully, Kirk Cousins being there is really going to help him out, but we'll see. Amari Cooper in my flex. And then that leaves me on my bench. I got Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tony Pollard, Jameson Williams, Jonathan Brooks. He's on the non-football injury related list. Trey Benson, Clear Shakir, and Marshawn Lloyd, who was out. Um, Kicker, Jake Bates, and I got the Buffalo defense. So looking at this, I feel good with what I got in here. Obviously I'm not touching my starting wide receivers. Drake London, I was talking about it. Went hard on some Falcons this year. Is that going to bite me in the butt? Is it not? We'll see. Right now, out of the gate, though, I feel pretty good about it. Brandon Ayuk, new contract. Let's see what he does. He does have a little bit of a tougher matchup with the Jets this week, but I still feel good about having him in there. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, sit it and forget it, right? As well as, I just don't have much on the backup running backs position. I'm probably going to be Marshawn Lloyd. I might need to be looking at some other options. This is a redraft league, so there's no real incentive to keep him. If he's not going to play, especially at the beginning, he's dealing with a hamstring injury, and those can nag, right, and bother you for a while. But yeah, I think we're good to go with this lineup. I love the start we got from Devonta Smith. 7 catches, 84 yards. He had 8 targets, so was heavily used week one. So good times there. All right, let's head on over to our next team. And this is going to be for the SB Fantasy Football League. And what do we got so far? Let's take a look at our matchup. 0-0. No, we haven't had anybody play, neither team. So let's go ahead and bring up the roster. Let's take a look. Josh Allen. Now, this is a QB Superflex point per completion, point per reception, a super high scoring league. As you can see, Josh Allen is projected to score 79.5 points. Um, you'll definitely see a lot of parallels between my teams as well. Drake London again. I got Devontae Adams, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyle Pitts. Not to skip over Ramondre, but I am going with the Drake London and the Kyle Pitts stack. This is either going to be awesome for me this year, or it's just going to just be a flaming dumpster fire. We'll see. Javonte Williams is who I have at my flex right now. I feel like I'm probably going to change that, but we'll take a look. And then Justin Herbert is the second QB that I'm playing that I have going. I'm on record as saying Justin Herbert is going to have himself a really good year this year. I like. I know you lose Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, but you got some young up and coming guys, Ladd McConkey, Josh Palmer. Is Quentin Johnston gonna do something this year? Who knows? But I like Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh's a great coach. I'm a Michigan fan, so obviously I love Jim Harbaugh. He brought us a national championship. Let's go blue. But I really feel like Herbert's going to thrive under him. If Colin Kaepernick can thrive under Harbaugh, obviously Justin Herbert can, right? And let's take a look, see who we got here on the bench. I feel good about my receivers. Drake London, Devontae Adams, Jahmyr Gibbs, I feel great. Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, there's not a lot going on there in New England. But Kyle Pitts, I feel great about. It's this wide receiver, running back, tight end, flex position that I don't necessarily feel great about right now. So let's see who I got here on the bench to plug and play there. Deshaun Watson. We'll see what he does this year. Jameson Williams, Jerome Ford. I think Jerome Ford is going to be the play, guys. Just looking right now. But Blake Corum is here. Keon Coleman, Jerry Jeudy, Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and move Jerome Ford into that flex position there. So there we go. So let's get that move done, and that's going to be our lineup. Josh Allen, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Jahmyr Gibbs, Ramondre Stevenson, Kyle Pitts, Jerome Ford, and Justin Herbert. Kicker Jake Bates. It's gonna be my kicker in all my leagues, guys. Legatron, aka Jake Bates, I think he's poised to have himself a really good year this year. Played great in the USFL. I know USFL, but still. And the Minnesota defense. They're playing the Giants. That's why I went with the Minnesota defense. I'm going to be streaming my defense from week to week here. And Minnesota going up against the Giants week 1 is a good matchup there. I think Jerry Jeudy's going to have himself a pretty good year. I think he's kind of been forgotten about a little bit. I kind of went with him to go with that stack with Deshaun Watson, as well as Keon Coleman. All right. If Keon Coleman steps up and plays big this year, having Josh Allen and him stacked will be pretty good. I think Blake Corum's going to have himself a pretty good year once he gets established and gets going. And Jameson Williams. I'm a big Detroit guy, if you can't already tell, but I think Jameson Williams is going to have himself a year. I'm looking. I mean, I guess I need to go ahead and stick with Ramondre right now, week 1. I'm having some thoughts of possibly moving Jerome Ford into that running back position, and then starting a Jameson Williams, a Jerry Jeudy, Keon Coleman, in that flex position. Again, we're PPR. Jerome Ford had himself a really good year last year. The Dallas defense is pretty tough. Ramondre, I mean, he's really the only thing you got going there. I think they're going to run the ball a decent amount to protect the rookie. Yeah, let's go ahead and stick with that. That lineup is set. All right. Let's go to the next league. which this is going to be the Legatron League. This is the league where I drafted a kicker and defense in the first 2 rounds, and projections are not looking good. I'm losing right now 46-4. He had Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Justin Tucker play. I had the Baltimore defense. They got me 4. I wasn't really excited about playing them week 1, but when I drafted my defense, that was the best defense. And so that's kind of what I went with. Let's take a look at the team. Justin Herbert, you're going to see him in a lot of the leagues as well. Drake London, Deebo Samuel, James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Jake Ferguson, Keenan Allen, Javonte Williams, Christian Watson. I think Christian Watson's going to have himself a pretty good year this year. Didn't have a ton of yards yesterday. He had 3 catches for 13 yards, but he did have that touchdown. We'll see. He had 5 targets. Zach Moss, Jameson Williams, Matt Stafford, J.K. Dobbins, Jake Bates was my number 1 pick, and the Baltimore Ravens. I think I want to put Keenan Allen is questionable. Expects Keenan Allen to play. He's in with a heel. Indication in the week 1 that is. See, he had the heel issue last year. And I'm not really sure about the Bears. I'm going to go ahead and bench Keenan. And I want to go with Jameson Williams. I'm going to do the homer move here. But I do believe in Jameson Williams this year. We'll see what he does. James Cook, Ramondre Stevenson. I think I'm going to keep with that. If J.K. Dobbins stays healthy, he could be really good this year. He will be splitting time with Gus the Bus, but I feel good about him, but I just want to wait. I want to wait and see what happens with him. Obviously, we know what we're getting with James Cook. Ramondre. I'm going to go ahead and declare this lineup as sets. Yeah, we're gonna roll with this. All right, on to the next league. Need a hero. This is where I did the hero RB strategy on this one. Right now we're losing 3-11. We're projected to lose by 2 points. He had Josh Jacobs play, and I had the Philly defense going. All right, let's take a look at the teams. See what the roster looks like. Jared Goff, Devontae Adams, Drake London. Yeah, so this league you're going to see a lot of Falcons. Bijan Robinson, Devin Achane, Kyle Pitts, David Montgomery, Malik Neighbors, Keenan Allen, Christian Watson, Jameson Williams, Trey Benson, and Justin Herbert. All right, so we got Justin Herbert, we got Jared Goff. Vegas and the Rams. I'm going to go with Goff. I'm going to trust my QB. QB1, Jared Goff. Let's go. Devontae Adams, obviously. Drake London, yes. Bijan, Devin Achane, yes. Kyle Pitts, yes. David Montgomery. Yeah, I don't see anybody on the bench right now that I would put in his place. Jake Bates, Philly defense. Yeah, for week 1, this is what we're going to go with. I do believe Dave Montgomery is still going to have himself a really good year this year, just because everyone's all fired up about Jameer. Let's not forget they both almost had 1,000. They both had 900 yards rushing last year. So I think you're going to have something along those same lines again this year, as well as Dave Montgomery. That's your red zone target, right? He's your red zone running back. He's going to vulture some TDs. TDs are worth a lot. So yeah, I think he's going to have himself a year. So the only question here is Jared Goff versus Justin Herbert. And while yes, you look at it, and I would say the Rams are a better team than the Raiders. Um, I just believe in Goff. I don't know. He's being started in 36% of Yahoo leagues. Justin Herbert's only being started in 10%. Here's the crazy thing. Justin Herbert is only rostered in 66% of Yahoo leagues. So he's still out there in 34%. And let's just say you're one of those who drafted Jordan Love. He's now out 3 to 6 weeks with the MCL sprain. Um, see if Justin Herbert's there for you guys. See if he's available. Because if Justin Herbert is out there, you can't go wrong with having Justin Herbert as your starter while Jordan Love is out. I don't think you can. All right, this lineup set. Let's go ahead. I think we got one more with the Yahoo facing interface. Yep, the zeros. I did the 0 RB strategy here. And we've got, let's hold on before we go into that. We are winning 15 to 13. We are projected to lose by 8 points. He had Rashee Rice go off for 13.8 points. I had Pat Mahomes get me 15.64 points. And that's what we're looking at right now. Pat Mahomes, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, Ramondre Stevenson, Aaron Jones, Sam Laporta, Deebo Samuel, George Pickens, Zamir White, Joe Burrow, Christian Watson, Jerome Ford, Trey Benson. I was going through and I'm drafting, and I get to the 10th round. And yes, I had Pat Mahomes, but I get to the 10th round and Joe Burrow is still sitting there. And I was like, I have to draft him, right? I just had to. He's someone that I could look at possibly trading for a running back because I didn't draft any running backs until late. That's why we got Ramondre Stevenson and Aaron Jones. I'm not excited about having Aaron Jones. Now they do play the Giants week 1. I feel good about that matchup. I am going to go ahead and bench Ramondre and play Jerome Ford here. Ramondre is starting in 95% of Yahoo leagues. Jerome Ford starting in 86% of Yahoo leagues. Dallas gave up a lot to the run last year, so I feel like that's a good move. But yeah, I mean, Pat Mahomes, I'm always going to play him pretty much. I mean, yeah, unless there's a really good matchup that I like with Joe Burrow. CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, they're never coming out of the lineup, right? Unless they're hurt, they're playing 100% of the time. Jerome Ford, I mean, I think while Nick Chubb is out, he's someone definitely to go with. Do you do trade analysis for fantasy? I'll take a look, give you my opinion for sure. I'm always here to give opinions, take a look, and see what I think. Give you a sounding board, a second opinion. Let's see what you got. Tell me what you're looking at. Right now I'm just kind of going through my lineups for tomorrow. This is my last Yahoo league. I did a 0 RB strategy here. I got offered Amon and Rice for Brees and Diggs. Do you take it? RB are Brees, Achane, and Montgomery. Wide receivers are Puka, DK, Diggs. 2 RB, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex, half PPR. So you got offered Amon and Rice for Brees and Diggs. Man, I so we've seen what Rice is going to do. I think week 1 is a good indication as to what you're going to get out of Rice this year. Is he going to spend any time with suspension? Who knows? If they don't rule on that court case, nothing. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think you're looking at arguably a top 3 wide receiver in the league right there. Diggs, I definitely think you're getting the better of this. I would take it. Um, I would definitely take it because I don't know what you're going to get out of Stephon Diggs this year. I really don't. You've got a crowded wide receiver room. He's older, and you got a lot of young, talented wide receivers there. Um, you give up Brees, but you still have A Chain and Montgomery. I just talked about David Montgomery a minute ago. I think David Montgomery's still going to have himself a really good year this year, even though everyone, Gibbs is going to have a really good year. But I mean, last year they both had over 900 yards rushing. Um, you're definitely still going to get the touchdown production. I feel like with Montgomery now, you're not. I don't think you'll get the same production. I mean, he set career high last year, right? But you're going to have something kind of similar to that for sure. Um, I would take the trade because I think you're getting the better end of it. Because I don't know what you're going to get out of Stephon Diggs this year. I really don't. I'm not. I didn't draft him in any of my leagues. I've got 8 leagues, and I didn't touch him in any of them. Uh, I think he's going to be the low man on the totem pole. Really, you've got a lot of talent there in Houston, and he's already kind of complained. That's why I'm thinking Rice has to be better than Diggs. No, Rice is better than Diggs. Rice is better than Diggs. Amon's better than Diggs. Y- Yeah, yeah. It's a no brainer. You've got to take. I take that deal. Now, is it a redraft or a dynasty? It doesn't change. It actually it's even better if it's a dynasty league. To be honest with you, I think Diggs might be out of the league in a couple of years. Redraft, yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, if it was a dynasty, it's 100% a no-brainer. You can't click fast enough on that because I think Diggs is out of the league in a couple of years. Honestly, teams are going to be tired of putting up with this crap. I mean, he was already chirping at C.J. Stroud during a preseason game about not getting the ball. Like, bro, you got to chill. My QB is also Goff. So now you're going to have a lot invested in the lines, which I think that's a I like the Lions this year. I think the Lions go to the Super Bowl this year. I love Goff. I was just talking about Goff in my last league that I was looking at. Um, my 2 QBs I'm looking at who I'm going to start for this week was Jared Goff and Justin Herbert, and I went with Jared Goff. I think Goff's going to have himself another great year, and especially for where you were drafting a player like Goff this year, you were getting him super late, and potentially I mean, he's definitely going to be a top 10 quarterback. I think top 10's a no-brainer, but he could definitely be higher. I think his ceiling's higher than that. I think his floor is 10. Um, and I think the ceiling's higher for Jared Goff. You're going to get a lot of action with that Goff St. Brown connection. And yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So I think I'm all set in this league right here. Again, this was my 0 RB strategy league. I didn't take a RB until round 7, I think it was. Um, I feel great about, CD, Puka, Jerome Ford. I don't feel good about Aaron Jones. I like the matchup against the Giants, and that's why I'm going to go with him over Ramondre with Cincinnati. Trey Benson, it's going to take him a little while to take over that backfield, but I think by the end of the year, Trey Benson will take over that backfield there in Arizona. Connor's just another year older. Zamir White is a consideration. I don't know with the Vegas running back situation. He was getting a majority of he was a workhorse towards the end of the year last year. But I expect the Chargers to be better this year than they were last year. Again, I think it just comes down to matchup with Aaron Jones. I don't think the Giants are any good. I don't think they're going to be any good this year. I think it's going to be a long year for New York Giants fans. Um, and I see them running the ball a lot. You got to kind of you're not going to give the reins fully over to Sam Darnold. I think you're gonna run the ball a lot so that you can go ahead and give Darnold some relief. So that's going to be it for my Yahoo leagues. So I got to go ahead and let me stop sharing that screen, guys, and I'm going to go over to my Sleeper League. I've got a league over on Sleeper. This is a dynasty league that this was the very first year of the league. 27 rounds we had in this draft, and yeah. So we're gonna go through this. I've already had a few guys. Oh, let me add that there. There we go. I've already had a few guys play. Um, I've already pulled off a trade in this league, which I thought was a great trade. Um, I traded Frank Gore, practice squad player for the Bills, for Austin Eckler. The guy that drafted Eckler did not want him on his team. He didn't like drafting him. He was actually going to was talking about dropping him. So I just threw over Gore. With this being a dynasty league and again, 27 slots, no kickers, no defenses, just all players. It is a super flex, half PPR with your tight ends getting a little extra bump as well. So I got Justin Herbert, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devin Achane. I feel great about those two running backs. Wide receiver wise, we got there we go. St. Brown and Amari Cooper. I feel good about both of those guys. I think Cooper's going to have himself a pretty good game against that Dallas secondary that's already banged up. Mark Andrews already played. He got me 5 points. I'm not concerned about Mark Andrews yet. I am not concerned about him. Isaiah Likely had himself a day. But if you go back and you rewatch the game, if you go back and you look at some of that coach's tape and kind of zero in on Mark Andrews, he was getting double, triple covered almost sometimes. The Chiefs went into that game with a game plan of we're going to take Mark Andrews out of the equation. And then you saw what Isaiah Likely did, which is what he did when Mark Andrews was out last year. He played great. So I think the Ravens are going to do a lot of 2 tight end sets, and teams aren't going to be able to do that little gangbang on Mark Andrews all season because Isaiah Likely will just tear him up. So I think Mark Andrews is going to be all right. We're 1 week in. It's not time to panic. I'm not selling on Mark Andrews yet. I'm okay. I am okay with it. Sucks for week 1 getting 5 points, but in the long haul, we're going to be all right. All right, let's take a look at what do we got next here. And then we got some flex positions here. I already had Christian Watson play. He got me 8.8 points, 3 catches, 5 targets, 13 yards, and 1 touchdown. I got T. Higgins, and he's listed as doubtful. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to go ahead and replace him in my lineup for right now with the full intent of if he does play, I'm probably going to slide him back into the lineup. But with him being listed as doubtful right now, I'm going to go ahead and bench him for now. Jerome Ford, I'm all aboard for Jerome Ford. He's a player that you were drafting super late, and I just think you don't know when Nick Chubb's going to come back. You don't know what type of player Nick Chubb's going to be when he comes back. We've seen what Jerome Ford can do. So I'm perfectly okay with that. And Russell Wilson is out. Justin Fields is getting the start. I'm going to go ahead and I do have Justin Fields. So I'm going to plug Justin Fields in there. I do have Bo Nix as well. I've got 4 quarterbacks. I can play 2. Again, I'm definitely starting Justin Herbert. And then it's Fields, Nix, and Wilson. With this being a dynasty league, it was, I needed a second quarterback to start. So at the time, I drafted Wilson with the full intent of drafting Fields as well, because I think at some point in time this year, he is going to take over the quarterback position. Who knew it was going to be week 1? And if he plays good tomorrow, do we see Russell Wilson again? Like, could this quad injury be the death of Russell Wilson? I don't know. Bo Nix, I think he's going to be a pretty good quarterback going forward. Again, a dynasty league. So I went ahead and I got a rookie in here. We got Trey Benson, Dalvin Cook, Kareem Hunt. Again, this was a 27 round draft. If he ends up getting picked up somewhere, he might be all right. Austin Eckler, Gus Edwards, Keon Coleman, Ricky Purcell, Darius Slayton, Darnell Mooney, Tutu Atwell, Jalen Tolbert, uh, Douglas Moali Cox, and Jawan Johnson. Oh, and Greg Dulcich. All right. Looking at my options right now, I think I want to go with Keon Coleman to go into this flex position for right now. Or do I want to go with Austin Eckler? Eckler is projected for more. Gus Edwards, you're splitting the backfield with J.K. Dobbins. Who's going to get the majority of the work there yet? I don't know what that split's going to be like. I don't want to go with that yet. Austin Eckler, you do have a split there as well. You know what? I just kind of talked myself into Keon Coleman there. Now, hopefully, T. Higgins is good, and then I don't have to worry about that. But if not, I've got somebody else to plug in there. We'll go with Keon Coleman. They drafted him to be the guy there in Buffalo. Let's see if he's going to be the guy week 1. Why not? Let's see what we got. Darnell Mooney's the number 1 there in Atlanta, or the number 2 there in Atlanta, not the number 1, the number 2 there in Atlanta. How much is Cousins going to spread that ball around? I kind of want to hold off on that. Tutu Atwell, he's a guy that if Puka's already battling some injuries, if Cooper Kupp goes down, if one of those two guys goes down, Tutu's the guy that kind of steps in there. As he did great last year when one of those guys was out, mostly when Cooper Kupp was out. So Jalen Tolbert could be the number 2 there in Dallas. I don't know. Again, it was a super long draft. So you're just kind of plugging guys in, hoping that maybe something happens. So, all right, that's it for that lineup. Now we're going to switch over to CBS Sportsline. I've got 2 dynasty leagues there in CBS. So we'll take a look at these 2. If you have any more questions about start sits, go ahead and let me know, or anything else. Again, one thing that we kind of talked about a little bit earlier is Justin Herbert's available in like 30% of leagues. And if you're someone who drafted Jordan Love, who's now going to be out 3 to 6 weeks with that strained MCL, that's a guy to go pick up for sure. For sure, 100%. Don't freak out about Mark Andrews. He's going to be just fine. Let's get this screen right. There we go. All right. So in this league, I got a QB, a running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, a kicker, and a defense is what we're starting here. We got Tua, J.K. Dobbins, Jordan Addison, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jawan Johnson, Rashid White, kicker Jake Bates. Again, I'm on the record of highly believing in Jake Bates this year. I think he's going to be a really great player. 49ers defense. Now, do I go Goff? Do I go Tua? I think Tua is going to have a really good game, and that's a team that really depends on the throwing the ball a lot. Blake Corum, I'm not ready to start him yet. Austin Eckler, I'm not starting him over either J.K. Dobbins or Rashid White. I benched Isaiah Likely. he would have got me 13 points. I don't know, man. What can you do? Hollywood, obviously he was out this week. Keenan Allen, you don't know if he's going to play or not. He's having some issues with that heel. Xavier Leggett, I'm going to hold off on playing him for now. This is a dynasty league, so that's one reason for Leggett to be there. Josh Palmer, possible number one there. And then I got Dustin Hopkins in the Patriots defense. You had to draft 2 kickers. You had to draft 2 defenses as far as your roster limits were concerned. I don't know if I want to start Jared Goff or if I want to start Tua. I'm okay with J.K. Dobbins there. I mean, if I made a move, it would be to put Rachaad White there in the running back position. You would then move J.K. to the bench and maybe play Josh Palmer. But I don't know what that's going to. Burrow or Richardson? Burrow. I don't trust Richardson yet. Yeah, I'm going Burrow. If you got Burrow, you start Burrow. Yeah. Richardson's coming off the shoulder injury. What's his? Is he going to run as much? He kind of ran with reckless abandon last year, and that's part of the reason why he got hurt. He's still very, very blue. Doesn't have a ton of play time. I'm going Joe Burrow. I'm going Joe Burrow. Burrow for sure. Even if there's a possibility that Chase and Higgins are out, keep an eye on that. If they're both out, okay, I think that's different, right? But even if just Chase is in, Chase is he's gonna eat. He's gonna feed Chase, right? Possibly of Higgins being out. I did bench Higgins in one of my leagues for now to see if he is going to play. If he does play, I am going to play him 100%. But if they're both out, I think that changes things, right? But I'm operating under the assumption that at least Chase is going to play tomorrow. And if just Chase is playing, I play Burrow because those two together it's just money. It's just money, just printing money there. I just don't trust Richardson yet. I want to see a little bit more out of him. I want to see what his game's going to look like after an injury. After RG3 had that big injury when he came back. Again, that was a knee versus a shoulder, but still, right? The coaching staff has to be talking to him and being in his ear, telling him he can't run the way he's been running because his body just can't take that abuse. So his game it should change some, or he's going to get hurt again, right? But yeah, I mean, if Chase and Higgins are both out, I'd probably bench Burrow. But if at least Chase is playing, I'm playing Burrow there. I think I'm going to stick with Tua for right now. Possibly change it. I'm probably not going to change it. I'll probably stick with Tua. I do love Jared Goff, 100%. I don't know. I like the matchup against Jacksonville. Jared Goff will have a pretty good day tomorrow, but I think I've got a bigger play potential with Tua. Tua hitting some big plays to Hill, Waddle. So I'm gonna stick with that. All right, and let's take a look. We got one more team to take a look at here, guys. This is another dynasty league that I'm rolling with here. This is a team I took over last year that we're in the process of rebuilding. Trying to get better. I got Tua here as well. Chase Brown, Tyler Lockett, Jameson Williams, Dallas Goedert, Tyler Algier, Evan McPherson, and then we get defensive players here. I did get some points from Roquan Smith. I got Matthew Judon and Jesse Bates in there. I got the Falcons defense. I had the Falcons defense and the Ravens defense. I didn't want to start the Ravens against the Chiefs, so I'm sticking with the Falcons playing Pittsburgh. I like that matchup a lot better. And then you look at my bench isn't that great. Again, this is a team that I'm trying to rebuild a little bit. I got Austin Eckler, Eric All, Dynasty League. He was just a guy that was available. Justin Watson, Wan'Dale Robinson, Luke McCaffrey, Greg Dortch, Jalen Warren, and Aiden O'Connell which is someone that I actually need to go ahead and get rid of now that he's not going to be starting. On my IR, I have Rondale Moore and TJ Hawkinson. And then we have a practice squad where I can stash 3 rookies. Right now, I got Tyrone Tracy, Brendan Rice, and Audric Estime on there. Tyler Lockett is banged up. Let's see what's going on here. He's questionable. He was a full participant in practice on Friday. Questionable for tomorrow. If he's playing, I'm gonna play him just based on I don't like anybody else that I have. That's all there is to that. Um, there's just I just don't have a better option there. Chase Brown, I think I like Chase Brown. I don't know what kind of production we're going to get out of him right out of the gates. Um, I think a smarter play for week 1 is going to be to go ahead and bench him, and I'm going to play Austin Eckler. Let's see here. Come on. Why is it not moving? There we go. All right. So we're gonna put Eckler in there. Tyler Algier is still supposed to have a big part of the offense. Still supposed to be playing a big part in there. They still want to get him the ball. He makes plays, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and go with him for now. I think I've got a more potential out of him versus Jalen Warren for sure. Greg Dortch, Luke McCaffrey, Wanda. I mean, I just don't have much right now, guys. I'm hoping right now. I just got to see who's going to break out this year. Is what I'm waiting on for sure. Let's go ahead and set that lineup. This is a rough team again. I'm in a rebuilding process with this team. Just trying to get some players on here. And this is going to be one of those teams where I'm going to be heavily active. All right, guys. So those are our lineups. We're set. Don't freak out about Mark Andrews. Sorry if you drafted Jordan Love. Justin Herbert's out there in 33% of your leagues. He is a viable option if he's still out there in your league. Um, we'll look at some more options for replacement after this week for sure. There will be a waiver wire show every Tuesday. I think Rapid Dave will be going live tomorrow afternoon, just tomorrow morning before the game for his sit segment. But thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. This is going to be a Saturday night thing. So come back and visit with me next Saturday. Talk to you guys later. Deuces.